So, you've decided 2026 is the year you're finally going to learn to code. That's awesome. But let's be real. It can feel like you're standing at the bottom of a giant mountain, right? And there are 100 different signs pointing in 100 different directions. It's confusing. Well, don't worry. We're going to cut through all that noise and give you one single, clear roadmap to get you started.
And I bet this is the question that's been bouncing around in your head. Where do I even begin? Seriously, you go online and it's just a tidal wave of advice, right? So many tutorials, so many different opinions. It is so easy to get totally overwhelmed before you even write a single line of code. Which language should I pick? What course is the best? What tools do I need? Yeah, it's a lot.
And then, of course, you hear stuff like this. Oh, you have to learn Java first. You've probably heard that one, right? This idea is a total myth. And honestly, it stops so many people before they even get started. So let's just bust that myth right now. We're here to give you a real, modern, and frankly, better starting point. Okay, so here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll tackle the big 2026 coding question. Then, we'll get into choosing your very first language. After that, I'll give you a simple 5-step starter plan. We'll talk about practice, pitfalls, and even AI. And finally, we'll get you ready to start your journey. Let's do it.
All right, first things first, let's talk about the 2026 coding question and just set the record straight. Okay, moving on to probably your first and most important decision, choosing your first language. And look, this is a big deal. Getting this right can be the difference between everything clicking into place or you just wanting to give up entirely. So it's pretty crucial. So let's not beat around the bush. In 2026, the single best language for a beginner is, without a doubt, Python. Forget all those old school myths. If you are starting your coding journey today, Python is the answer. It's direct, it's incredibly powerful, and it was literally designed to be easy to read and super beginner friendly.
So you're probably asking, okay, but why Python? Well, for starters, it's syntax. The way the code is written is so clean it almost reads like plain English. That's a huge win when you're just starting out. And don't think of it as just some training wheels language. No way. Python is a beast. It's the engine behind massive fields like AI, machine learning, and automation. Plus, the demand for Python jobs is just huge. And hey, you don't have to just take my word for it. Look at this little snapshot. See that beginner friendliness column? Python is sitting right at the top with very high, and there's a good reason for that. Now, JavaScript is essential if you want to get into websites, and Java is a big deal in the corporate world for sure, but neither of them has that gentle learning curve that Python offers. So the strategy is simple. Start with Python, build up your confidence, and then you can branch out to these other languages later on. Okay, so you've picked your language. Python it is. Now for the fun part, how do you actually get started? Here's your super simple 5-step plan to take you from zero to coder. This is it. This is the core of the whole roadmap. First, you just need to get your tools. Install something called VS Code. It's a totally free code editor and it's fantastic. Then you'll install Python on your computer. Easy enough. Step 3, you're going to learn the absolute basics. Things like variables, loops, and functions. These are the building blocks. But listen up. The most important steps here are 4 and 5, practicing every day and then building small projects. That is where the magic really happens. And when I say practice, I really mean writing your own code, not just passively watching someone else do it on YouTube. You got to get your hands dirty. Start super small. Try to build a basic calculator, or maybe a little number guessing game. You could even write a simple script that cleans up your desktop files. These little projects force you to actually use the concepts you're learning. And trust me, that active, hands-on learning is how you'll make real, lasting progress. All right, you're officially on your way. Now let's shift gears a bit and talk about how to succeed in the long term. We're going to cover practice habits, common pitfalls to avoid, and yes, how to use AI to your advantage. What's this? 1 hour. This is your magic number. Seriously, if there's one secret to learning how to code, it's consistency. And the best way to stay consistent? Just commit to one single focused hour every single day. But how you spend that hour is key. You can't just watch videos for 60 minutes straight. That's not going to cut it. You need a balance. A 50-50 split is perfect. Spend about 30 minutes learning something new, a new concept, a new technique. And then spend the other 30 minutes actually practicing, writing code, and solving problems. Learn, then do. It's that simple.
So, where do you find these problems to solve? Well, think of sites like LeetCode, HackerRank, and Code Studio as gyms for your brain. They are packed with thousands of coding challenges, from super easy to mind-bendingly difficult. They're the perfect place to go to flex those new coding muscles and really sharpen your problem-solving skills.
Okay, now for some real talk. Let's cover what not to do. Because honestly, knowing the common traps is just as important as knowing the right steps. Avoiding these mistakes can save you a ton of frustration and keep you from wanting to quit. Okay, number 1, avoid tutorial hell. You know what I'm talking about, watching video after video without ever actually writing any code yourself. Don't do it. Second, don't be a language hopper. Pick Python and stick with it until you feel genuinely comfortable. And finally, please don't try to learn everything all at once, and definitely don't compare your own progress to others. It's your journey. Focus on that.
Now here's something really cool. Learning to code in 2026 gives you a superpower that beginners just a few years ago could only dream of. AI. You should absolutely be using it as a tool to help you learn faster and smarter.
The best way to think about AI is as your own personal 24/7 tutor. Got an error message you don't understand? Ask the AI to explain it. Confused by a chunk of code? Ask it to break it down for you line by line. It can even suggest ways to improve your code or create new practice problems for you. But here's the golden rule. Use it to understand, not just to get the answer. Use it as a teacher, never as a crutch to just copy and paste. Okay, we have covered a ton of ground. So, as we start to wrap this up, let's distill it all down to the final, most important takeaways you need to carry with you as you start this journey. Seriously, if you take away only one single thing from all of this, let it be this right here. Practice daily. Consistency is everything. 1 hour every day is so much better than cramming for 8 hours on a Saturday. It's about building that habit and keeping everything fresh. And remember this too, build stuff. Theory is great, you need it, but actually applying that theory is what matters. The goal isn't just to know what a function is on a test, it's to use a function to make something cool happen. A portfolio full of small, interesting projects you built will always be more valuable than any certificate you can get. And finally, this might be the most important piece of advice of all. You do not need to be perfect. You just need to start. So many people get stuck overthinking everything, trying to have the perfect plan before they write line 1. That's the real trap. You're going to make mistakes. Your code is going to be messy at first. That's not just okay, it's part of the process. The hardest step, and the most important one, is just taking that first step. So, there you have it. Your roadmap for 2026 is clear. You have the language to learn, you have the 5-step plan, and you have the strategy for long-term success. The only thing left to do is answer that question right there. What are you going to build first? Your journey starts right now.